What's going on? How we doing? Oh, I can see the chat. Sweet. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Today was a pretty productive day. You can hear my new to me dual fuel champion generator. It's actually currently charging my battery bank. Probably got another half hour on that or so. Well, once I had that start running, that was able to provide me to shoot up Starlink. Now I have the connection. Now I have both my devices going. We're making progress. I did go to the store today too. We re-upped on some produce and some. I cooked Lua, some sweet potato. Boiled him some sweet potato, and this is some of the juice left over. I bring that up because we're actually cooking some pork, and we're going to do pork and apples tonight. So I am frying the pork on the hot side of the pan. I got onions, carrots, garlic, tomato sitting over here on the not so hot side of the pan. This is really adding flavor to my sauce, and what's going to be the sauce anyway. And then I want to get the outside of this pork nice and crispy. And then we're going to use some of that sweet potato stock, so to speak. We're going to use some of that sweet potato stock, deglaze the bottom of this pan with it. And then we're going to add more flavors to this. So welcome in, appreciate it. We're out here in the woods, in the RV. We're updating RV as much as possible to be independent, free roaming. I've been in the RV I've been living out of it for 6 months. You know, new to the RV life. I'm not new to life in general. I'm not new to the nomad life. I've been living out of vehicles for about 7 or 8 years now. Me and Lua have lived out of a Ford Explorer at first, and we lived out of a Toyota Tacoma. And then last year I was able to purchase this RV, do some renovation, and then we went full go in January of this year. Alright, we need to start adding some more flavor to this. And I'm wondering if I'm gonna... Yeah, we could still do it sauce-wise. Let's get some heat up in the picture. This jalapeno is nice and firm, nice and clean. But I'll still take out the flavor. So we're going to do both sides of the canoe, one side this way, one side this way. We'll usually grant you the whole seeds coming out, little fangs. We can leave some of the seeds again. I'm going to go down this way, once the other way, and all the seeds should come out. Follow that little vein. Just gets rid of some of the heat index. When I'm cutting vegetables, this skin is much tougher than the other side, so I'll flip it upside down. Be careful of the oils, obviously. You don't want to go touching your hang down after you cut potatoes. There was one time where I did have to stick my hang down into a cup of milk. It wasn't the best scenario. I was cooking with some hot stuff that day too. Hot stuff. Alright, we'll get some jalapenos in there. Now, this red pepper, I'm going to counteract it with the sweetness, especially when the red pepper really starts to roast up. And then I have a little trick with this guy too. I'm just going to take these 4 little nipples and I'm going to make 4 cuts, and I should get most of this pepper. Ready? Here goes 1. I'm just going to follow the rib down. Now I can see the inside. I don't see any ribs on this one whatsoever. Here's all the seeds in the ribs. I can see the rib right there. I'm going to take this next mound. I'm going to just follow it. Follow, follow, follow. And then I can look down on the inside. You can't see that, but look, no rib, no white, no, there's the seeds. Here's cut number 3. We're going to go down the ribs. Look on the inside. And boom. A little bit of rib right here. It's not fine dining. Nobody's sourcing their food locally anyway, so they can all screw up. Look at that. Look at that. Right? A little bit of, you can bite this piece here and here. But that can go into your stock. Again, vegetable skin is a little bit harder to cut, so I flip it upside down. Just let it follow. Make all the similar cuts first. Instead of doing step 1, then step 2, then back to step 1, then back to step 2. I'm going to do step 1 on every single one of them. Line it up, and then go back and do step 2. Now we're getting so many birds stoned at once that we're going to put on a comedy, and we don't have to do anything for the rest of the night. Boom. Into the flavor chamber. Look at all these colors. Woo! It's like a fiesta. Alright, let's get all this stuff in there. Like I said before, see, you can't even see those onions no more. You'd have to look pretty close to see the carrots. We have tomatoes in there. Alright? Let's just keep adding this flavor. Again, with every ingredient we're adding to embolden the flavor, we want to make sure that there is salt to make sure that flavor pops. So we're layering with salt just like we're layering with ingredients. What's going on? What's going on? Ooh, let's point this down. Did we just start floating up? Is that what happened? We might have just been starting floating up. Okay, 77. Ha 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 ha! Alright, so I think I'm going to add my garlic now to the veggie side. Dude, I might even get bold and throw rice in this. Right? Okay, I've had plenty of salt. I added a medley of peppercorns on a different platform when I was live earlier. I started this whole process earlier. You're just joining me. The sweet potatoes were for Lua. I fed my dog tonight. Sweet potatoes, carrots, and a little bit of kibble that I'm weaning them off of. And then I started cooking pork for myself. Yeah, we can't forget those apples too. We need those apples in there, don't we? Yes, we do. Thanks, chat. I appreciate you guys staying on top of the ball. Pork and apples, pork and apples. This is pepper right now that I'm grinding up. Medley of pepper. I think there was a green corn in here, a red corn, and 2 black corns. That just smells amazing on its own. Let's get the keef of the pepper off of there. And we're gonna just throw it in there. Did it? Alright. Alright, let's mix that garlic and pepper with the veggies. We now have onions, bell peppers, or onions, red bell pepper, jalapeno, carrots, garlic, salt. We started with lard, and started with a cold pan, and this pork. This pork is getting nice and crispy. This is shoulder, so if I don't really cook out of it, then it's just gonna be. Action here. The sauces. And then now what you have is essentially the start of your sauce. Right? Add a little bit of that in there. How we doing? How's the stream look so far? Not so bad, not so bad. Kitchen looks... Oh, apples. Oh. Apples. Now we'll make it a little bit more sweet. I think we can tap down the heat. Slow little simmer. Let's add apples everywhere. Boom. 1 apple for Lua. And we can just let that simmer. This goes into our trash bucket. Now we'll go into our our trash later. I didn't like how this garlic looked. We're gonna do a push. We're gonna do a push on that stream. What do you say, Lua? Right? It's gonna be one of the last times. One of the last times we're streaming to one viewer, and that viewer being me. %81. Right? %81, and I think we can go, 24 hours or something. All right. Now we get the quietness of the woods, and I still have my connection. Oh. That moth almost added to the flavor, huh? All right, we gotta be careful. Gotta stay on top of things. Well, that might be all she wrote. No, it's not. Hey. Not really having too much of a starch here at all, but I think that's going to be okay. I have the sweet potatoes. I can eat it with sweet potatoes. What am I talking about? Add some butter in there. Start to add some velvetyness to it. Boom. Butter in. All right. Well, I think I can show you guys. Like I said, I cooked for my dog tonight. I got the generator going. I'm gonna let this. Steep for a little bit. Simmer, I should say. I'm gonna let it simmer for a little bit, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So thanks for joining.